I'm gonna knock you out. All right. I think. I'll say when.
Can we do the watch and play starting?
We're here.
Hey!
What do you mean? Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is
Pat McDonald, and we're here for a live show, Gen Con recap.
That's right, the recap of Gen Con.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the first questions we got on the BGG sort of live chat question page was from Russ Temple, and he said, "Are you planning to do any sort of Gen Con recap?" Yes, Russ, we are. It's happening right now.
Right here.
But before it does, let's go double check the comments.
Don't change that channel.
Can you change the channel? Oh yeah, you can
No, it's
change the channel.
YouTube.
Yes, of course. They can close the channel. I just want to make sure. Do we have sound? People are saying sound! Exclamation mark.
Video exclamation
there we go.
mark.
Kabuki Kid comes in with, "Hi, Rodney and Pep. Audio and video is good."
Perfect.
Thank you.
I like that people just automatically tell us now.
I like that you're concerned for us because I'm always concerned, so that puts my mind at ease. I have gum in my mouth. That's very unprofessional.
Spit it out.
I'm not going to spit it out on your floor.
No. I got nothing. I don't have any tissue.
Oh, well, I'll just try not to chew it.
Just
obviously.
swallow it.
No.
Why not?
Gum never comes out again. That's what I've heard.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, so we are going to recap Gen Con. There are a couple of other little small things we have to do first. I just wanted to mention quickly that Seafall, the instructional video for that, is now on the channel. There was not a lot of video content after Gen Con because Gen Con, and then a little family visit after that for myself. And then that video took me about 9 days, I think, all told, to script and shoot and edit and a little reshoot and then post. So thanks for your patience, but the show's back. And actually, you recorded.
Bloodborne,
yes.
Bloodborne, yes.
But we just finished editing it today.
Yes.
So that will be going on to the channel tomorrow. You know why? Because I sent it over to the CMON group, and they said,
thumbs up?
yeah, all good. So that was great. We didn't have any mistakes, except for ones we caught in advance and then corrected ourselves.
Yeah, and they were mostly like, we shouldn't say this word twice in a row kind of thing.
Yes, that's right. So look for Bloodborne very soon, tomorrow soon. And also I'm going to have a little fundraiser update that will release tomorrow as well, along with that. And thanks, everyone. I did not put in an update to say, hey, we reached our fundraising goal. Again, Gen Con, Seafall, blah, blah, blah. But that little announcement is coming up tomorrow in the video. And a big thanks, because it means I get to do this for another year, and I really wanted to. So thank you for making that possible.
Did we reach the goal while we were at Gen Con?
We did. It happened while at
Didn't
Gen
that
Con.
happen last year too?
It might have, because I think
it happened
launched around the
last year,
same time as at Gen Con. So
yeah, it's like Gen Con, oh, it happened, and then I can't do a video, I'm here.
No, exactly. So we've got another 15 days left to go. So if you haven't donated yet and you'd like to, if you'd like to support the show, then please do, because we got some great stretch goals coming up, along with a live show, and then extra promos for people. And of course, we want to unlock Pep, because right now he's locked.
I'm locked.
You're locked, so we want to unlock you and get you onto the show full time next season. And some people ask questions about that, which we'll get to a little later. Do you want to do the Gen Con recap now? Do you want to get started? You think? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Okay, and we do have a couple of games here to play as well. We have Box of Rocks.
Actually, why don't we lead in with a game?
Do you want to start?
Why don't we lead in with Box of Rocks?
Okay, well, let's do it then. Let's do Box of Rocks. So this is by, the company's name is Haywire Games, I believe. Am I right?
Haywire Games. Haywire Group.
Oh, Group.
Haywire Group,
Sorry. Yeah. This is a game that I asked you, I think, at Gen Con. I texted you frantically. I'm like,
the last day.
I can't get back to the hall. Can you go pick up Box of Rocks for me?
The hall closes in 2 hours. Find this game.
Yeah. Now, this one might be a little tricky to do because of the angle of the camera. I was kind of hoping that I could show the scoreboard. But okay, so we have a little scoreboard here. The brightness of the lights is going to make it a little tricky to see. But there's sort of two tracks with 3 spaces each. One for the rock, because someone's going to compete against a rock, and the other one is for the human. And so they're each player, the rock and the human, are trying to answer 3 questions correctly first. How can a rock answer questions? Well, you'll find out in just a minute. Let's just drop the rocks in there. So we have a rock that is the little tracker for the rock score, and we have little meeple human for the human score. Pep, I'm going to get you to go first. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm answering. Okay.
You're answering, yeah. Well, we can do one each. Like you do it, and then we'll see which one of us. Okay. Okay, so this one, we'll start with something very simple. Each of these cards have 3 questions on them, and the answers to the questions are always 0, 1, or 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Give me the hardest one.
You want the hardest one? Okay.
Yeah. Some of them are pretty easy.
Here we go. The number of television commercials made with Elvis Presley acting in it. The number of television commercials made with Elvis Presley acting in it. What do you think?
If he's singing, does that count as acting?
It does not clarify.
I'm going to say 0.
All right, let's see what the Box of Rocks thinks. It's thinking. And the Box of Rocks says 1. So I'm going to try to tilt this. It may change the score. But you might be able to see in there's some rocks. And one of them is showing a little, like a 1, a little white hash mark.
Yeah.
So when you shake it up, it'll either be on a blank side or on a 1 side. And that's how you get the box's guess. So the box says 1. You've said 0. The answer is 1. Elvis Presley was in only one TV commercial, an ad for Southern Made Donuts that ran in 1954. So currently at this time, the Box of Rocks is smarter than Pep. But to be fair,
we'll get some revenge now.
The Box of Rocks has been sitting in there with the questions, mulling over the answers.
Yeah, they were reading these the whole time.
Oh, we're not done yet. I'm going to ask you another one. We're going to keep. I'm going to test you fully, and then later you can test me. Okay. Here we go. The number of people who were both born and buried on the property at Arlington National Cemetery. Do you know a lot about
born and buried?
Yes. Do you know a lot of people from the Arlington National Cemetery?
It feels like a trick question. Like it has to be 1. So I'm going to say 2. All
right. Let's see what the Box of Rocks says. Oh, Box of Rocks says 0.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if you can see what a 0 looks like. There's a 0. Okay. So flip it over and we'll see. The answer is, what did you say?
2.
The answer is 1. The first graves were dug by James Park, a former Arlington estate slave, who is the only person born and buried in the cemetery. So if both players get it wrong, can't believe I'm calling Box of Rocks a player, then no one advances on the score track. All right. So we'll do a couple more of these. Then we can take
everyone else is guessing too.
Yeah, definitely feel free to guess along. You should be doing that, and then you can be determining whether or not you're smarter than a Box of Rocks, all right? And feel free, if you do want to ask us questions that we'll answer during the live portion of the show, I would almost say wait a little bit till we get past this, but then you can put all caps question, and then you can put your question after that. It just allows us to find it in the chat a little bit easier. Don't put your whole question in caps. That's annoying to read. Okay, So the number of U.S. states that allows a man to marry his widow's sister. Wait a second.
This is a trick. It's 0.
Because the widow, for a man to marry his widow's sister, how could a man have a widow? That would mean he's dead.
I know.
So you think it's a trick question?
It's a trick question. 0.
They put trick questions in here?
They put trick questions in there.
Okay. Let's see what the Box of Rocks says. Oh, the Box of Rocks says 2. 2 states. Let's find out. The answer is 0. If a man has a widow, then he can't marry his widow's sister because he would be already dead. Very good. Okay, excellent. So you are correct. Tab, you are at least as smart as a Box of Rocks. Okay, let's move on here.
At least.
Okay. Oh, the number of weeks it takes the sloth to digest food.
Weeks.
While you're thinking about this, I'm going to go spit out my gum because it's rude and unprofessional.
To spit out your gum?
Yes.
Well, it's definitely not 0 because that would just be no time, right?
Right.
I'm going to guess 1 week. It takes a week.
Okay. Box of Rocks says 1.
Oh.
The answer is, how long did you say?
1.
It's 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks to digest the food it eats. All right, we'll do one more question, then we'll move on. We'll come back for more. Okay. Let's see. The number of amendments to the U.S. Constitution that have been repealed.
Repealed?
Repealed.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Box of Rocks is already pondering.
I feel like people in... I'm going to actually...
No, picky.
I'm going to say 2.
You're going to say 2. The Box of Rocks says 0.
Oh.
Let's see the answer. The answer is 1. So you guys are still at a stalemate of 1 point each. Okay, let's move on. We'll talk a little bit about Gen Con, then we'll come back
All right.
to answer some more questions of Box of Rocks. And we also have another game we're going to play with you guys as well, Speechless. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the start of our convention.
Okay.
We flew down together.
Yeah.
And then we quickly departed.
Yeah, just
that was actually part of our strategy was that we would split up and try to sort of cover the convention from our own sort of separate adventuring, right?
Yeah, and I think I only ran into you 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Once was in the hall, actually. I saw you playing a game and said, hey, for a second, and then I left.
What game was that? Do you remember what I was playing?
Oh.
Was it when I was demoing Ashes, or?
It might have been, actually.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. So the very first thing I remember doing particularly was me and a bunch of the other guys from Rolling Dice and Taking Names and Board Game Replay and the Secret Cabal, and John was their indie board gamer, and Oh, there's other people, but I'm just forgetting right now. Anyway, we went to Chow Fado or something. It's the endless meat place. Basically, you get a coaster like this. One side's green, one side's red. And as long as the coaster is on the green side, they just keep bringing you endless amounts of meat. You flip it over, and then they stop, and you flip it back over, and they bring you more. It was amazing. It was excellent food. It was kind of like the big splurge of the convention for me. I tried to eat a little more sanely the rest of the time, but it was fun. It was fun to reconnect with everybody and have sort of a little kickoff dinner there.
Yeah, I didn't want to put myself in a food coma upon first getting to Gen Con.
I did question the sensibility of doing this on day one.
Day 8, maybe.
Maybe. Day 8. Interesting.
Because you eat a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you, buddy. So I actually tried to hold back a little bit. I ate until I was a little overfull, but I didn't go crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, after that, there's not a lot to say, really. I mean, I wandered inside the hall a little bit. I had an event badge, so I was able to go in and check that out. But things then started in earnest the next day, which was Thursday. Is that right? Thursday?
Like Ernest Goes to Gen Con?
I never saw that movie.
Me neither.
So then it started in earnest, and the thing I remember mostly, I was at the Plaid Hat booth, and Seafall just sold it like that. They opened the doors about an hour in advance for a certain number of press, and then also for the VIGs. Yeah, the VIGs. And the VIGs are allowed to go in there and buy things, but press are not at that time. And Seafall just went. They had, I forget exactly how many copies, 100 and some odd, I think.
I thought it was 100 per day.
It was more than, no. They sold everything out in that first hour before even the main halls opened. Oh. They had exactly about 100 well, it's less than 200 anyway. And so those sold out pretty much right away. And I know there was a lot of disappointment about it. People were like, well, why didn't Plaid Hat bring more? And basically they flew over the copies that they had there, which is not an inexpensive thing to do. I don't think any publisher really wants to miss the opportunity to sell their games at full MSRP. They'll take that opportunity, especially when they stand to make the most money off of that deal. Yeah. So it's not some kind of weird grand conspiracy. I really don't believe it is anyway. But it's unfortunate because, of course, people got there and that was maybe the game they really wanted to get at the convention, right? So that would be disappointing. I definitely empathize with people's disappointment there.
Well, especially a legacy game, because, we get Speechless a couple months before someone else. It's not a big deal. They see us play. They think, oh, that's awesome. I'll go grab that. But something like Seafall or any legacy game,
there's so much heat around that game, so much hype and everything, right?
The hype, and if you don't play it immediately, you might get spoiled. And once you're spoiled, that could ruin the game for you.
People have been pretty good, I find. Like, I think even with Pandemic Legacy,
I still haven't seen spoilers.
Yeah, people are pretty good. Even on BGG, like in the post, they'll spoiler tag them so that it's invisible until you click on the post itself. So anyway.
Yeah, I remember I started tweeting pictures of Pandemic Legacy when I started, and someone replied on Twitter and said, I'm going to unfollow you now because I'm not that far yet.
Right, exactly.
It's like, I'm not going to post anything that spoilery.
So that was one of the things I first remembered was like Seafall selling out. Cry Havoc was another popular game there, and that just sold like bonkers, which is great. I'm really happy for Portal Games and for Grant Rodiak, the designer, one of the main designers on that game. Did you play a lot of games at Gen Con?
I didn't play a lot of games. I ended up doing more work, going around demoing stuff.
You and Bebo were like demoing.
Yeah, I went and demoed and did interviews and got to like look and listen and so I was in a pretty much constant state of learning and experiencing games, but not so much playing them.
Right.
It was a much different Gen Con for me.
Yeah. What would you say were the biggest differences between, say, this one and a previous one?
Just any amount of work.
Yeah.
Anytime I went to Gen Con before, it was 100%. I'm just here to demo for fun, or I'm wandering around. And I actually didn't schedule or do anything.
Yeah.
Like any events, anything,
for fun,
except for the thing that you did. The do's and don'ts of gaming. I went to that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that one too. I'll mention I did end up playing, I think, 4 games. I played 5 games. Cry Havoc. First night with Tony and Jamie, that was a lot of fun. And Scythe with Jamie from the Secret Cabal, and Jeff Engelstein, Ludology Podcast, and Jen, who's someone who donated during the Jack Bass Memorial Fund to play a game at this event with the Secret Cabal. So I was invited along as well. We ended up playing Scythe, which was a lot of fun. And Mansions of Madness. I got to play Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. I lost my mind. I periscoped this ridiculous, rambling, excited video in which I tried very hard not to review the game, and I was really excited to be able to try it. Obviously, Mansions of Madness was the first game that we featured on the channel, so it has a strong sentimental value to me, right? And I got to play with Kara, one of the level designers for the game from FFG, and she's someone who's watched the show in the past and had reached out to me, so I was really excited to play with her and some of her friends as well, and it was a great experience. We had Harvey there. We had all the first edition stuff as well to mix in, and I had Harvey Walters, and I played him just like I would have played him back in the day. He was in there fighting cultists. There was one point, I remember, I only had 2 dice I could roll. I needed 2 successes. I went in with Harvey. I rolled them. I got the 2 successes. It was just, it's just those kind of moments, again, like that you find in these Amerithrash games where you just get the dice rolling and everything's going the way you want. Very happy. I've played the game 2 or 3, I think 4 times now in total, with different groups of people playing that first scenario over and over and over again. Even though the first scenario has sort of a premise that's the same each time you play it, each game is played very differently. So I've been very happy about that. And that is a game that we'll be featuring on the channel.
I was going to say, I'm sure people are going to ask.
Yeah, so that's the next thing I'm working on to script. So I don't usually like to pre-announce, but since I am just about to sit down and script, I feel comfortable saying that now. The other game I'll mention that I played was with Keith Collins. Keith Collins, Major Malfunction. He's been one of the longest standing viewers and supporters of Watch It Played. I've become really good friends with him. I always love seeing him at conventions, and we always try to make a point of playing a game, despite how busy these cons can be for each of us. And this time we got together. It was barely the last hour. We barely made it. Got together. We played Space Plant, a hobby game, and that was a lot of fun just to see him and hang out as well. Yeah,
that's true. For the last couple hours of the convention, I suppose, well, not the convention because it was technically the day after. I also got about 3 hours of gaming in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Played Ethnos, Codename Pictures, and Speechless.
Okay, that's not too bad. Ethnos is a new game coming from Cool Mini or Not Games. We'll actually talk about that in a little bit later here, actually.
I could even grab the box.
Oh, you could? Yeah, go for it if you want to grab the box. I'll keep... Okay.
But you're supposed to talk while I do things.
I'll keep talking. Well, actually, that's about the end of it. I was going to say, you did a lot of demos. How many games do you think you demoed, approximately?
I don't know, a couple dozen.
Yeah, quite a few, right? I didn't get as much demoing in. I did a lot more just sort of standing over people's shoulders and kind of watching games be demoed.
Did you touch them?
I did not touch them. I don't know. I played piano behind them. I was just trying to get through the hall, primarily, and just try to look and observe all of the different things. Or observe them as well, and I wasn't able to.
I got a piece of art too.
Did you?
I did. Did I show you the art?
I don't think you
I'll get the art.
Why don't you go and get all the things
I'll get everything.
Okay.
Anything else you want while I'm over here?
No, you keep going. I'll mention quickly another fantastic event that happens at Gen Con and at Origins that I love going to. It's probably my favorite event, honestly, of any of these shows, and that's the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast Meetup. And this year was no different. It was a fantastic party. It really is just a big party, and I always have a good time. It was great seeing, of course, the Cabal guys there, but so many other friends of mine showed up to that as well. So that was a...
Yeah, I had a great time. Great time at the
Pep even
Secret
showed
Cabal
up as well. Tell us all about it, Pep.
Yeah, so I got there with Bebo and Bobby, and we were early. I think we were 5-10 minutes early.
Yeah.
And there was a line to get in.
Right.
There was 30 people wide, I think. Not long, wide.
Okay.
And there was a nice gentleman at the door that was the owner of the hotel. And was like, hey, you can't come in. This place is at capacity. We're like, so it's at capacity. The event hasn't even started yet. We're not getting in.
Right.
So we just wandered off and went and did our own thing. And then apparently you guys broke the rules and went past capacity.
There's always some kind of thing that happens. Something always happens at these shows that the Cabal always has to deal with. And this year it was that. And Jamie... I think he hulked out for a little bit. He ran down. He might have raised his voice a little bit to the gentleman there, and everything got straightened away. The doors were open, and more than fire code was allowed in there, I'm sure. But unfortunately, a few people didn't know that was going to happen, and they probably made the sensible choice, like you did, and said, "Well, we're not going to get in. There's no point in hanging around out here."
No,
it was amazing. There was all kinds of games to give away. A bunch of different media creators put together packages paired with publishers to give away. Just stacks and stacks of games. And, of course, lots of drinks and hanging out and socializing. So I really can't say enough. If you get a chance to go to one of these meetups, then you should. And if you're not already listening to the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast, you must do it. I command you right now. Anything else?
I can show you so this is...
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about a couple of the events that we did. One of them was the Cool Mini or Not press event. Cool Mini or Not was like, what happened? I went there, And at the Cool Media Expo, we saw about 10 games that we heard were going to be releasing at Gen Con, right?
And it's a bunch of new, different
all
stuff.
Kinds of stuff.
All kinds of different stuff.
Then we come to Gen Con, and their display case is filled with another 10 or 12 games I'd never heard of before that they're going to be releasing. And it like... mind blown, so much stuff. And so they had a little press event for a few people to get to come. It was like there was a little room that was set up in their booth, kind of privately, and then so we sat down. We got to sort of trotted in front of us were a variety of these different games, right? A little overview from the designer talking about it and how it worked. Eric Lang, for example, talked about his Rising Sun game, a new upcoming kind of spiritual successor to Blood Rage, but it also sounds quite different in its own way.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
My favorite part, are we allowed to talk about it?
I think so, yeah.
My favorite part is the honor thing where the more you betray other people, your honor goes down or up, I don't remember. And the more you don't betray people, it goes up.
Because he said it's based in some ways on diplomacy, like the game diplomacy, where it's a lot about committing to people to do something and then not always honoring that. So I thought that was interesting. Lots of beautiful miniatures, of course. The artwork looks fantastic. Is the gameplay any good? I wouldn't tell you because I don't review games, but it's certainly one we'll be looking at. But one of the games that we got to try out there was this one that you were trying to show off there, Ethnos. This was, like, when I saw it in the display case, it was a map and a few plastic little stacks of colored pieces. It didn't have, like, what I would say, a lot going on for it. But it really grabbed my attention. When I saw it, I was like, what is this? I want to know more about this game.
Yeah, it's like a little territory control thing with cards, and you play the cards into parties, and depending on who you make the leader,
sets
it does different
things
effects,
like
and you get points for sets.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So they showed it to us, and all of us there were like, oh man, this looks like something we'd like to like take a closer look at. And they said, well, let's play a game, and two of you can take this home with you. And this is a prototype version, I should mention.
Yeah, you'll notice
the box looks very nice, but it's blank on the back. So we ended up playing this other game, Raise Your Goblets.
Raise your goblets.
This is a little party-style game. It comes with a bunch of plastic cups, and then there's tokens, like little little gems.
Fish counters.
Yeah, fish counter type tokens. So yellow, black, red. So red is a wine, and then white is an antidote, and black is a poison. So you're putting these into your cup. Now you want, when you finally drink, to have the most wine in your cup, and you don't want to have been poisoned. The problem is, you don't always know what's in your cup. Like, you might get to take an action to put something in there, but then someone else might swap the cups. Then someone else might put something in it. That might get put back to you. Now, do I want to drink that? Because you're not allowed to look in it, unless you take an action to do so, right? You can look by taking an action, I believe it was.
Yep.
So a game of this was played to see who could take home copies of this. So, Pep, you...
No, I didn't win. Bebo...
right, Bebo did.
From GameWire won, and she gave me the copy. So.
So that was pretty cool. That was a fun event to be a part of. Speaking of other events, there was an Asmodee party as well, which I went to, which was kind of neat. Got a chance to talk to Christian Peterson, the head of FFG there. FFG was another company that was just loads of things coming out. Leading up to Gen Con, they announced like 10 new games, it felt like. Every time they released a new one, I was like, that's got to be it. Then they released another one. That's got to be it. Then they released another one. Then they actually, at the show, announced more games that were coming out, including this new Rune Wars miniatures game. So this is like a proper miniatures war game on a table. Like, no grid, no board. You know, you create the train you want, and then you build your army, paint it, and then you fight each other. So
when you said train, I thought you said train. So I actually imagined you were fighting on a train. So you create the train, and then
like Colt Express.
Well, you could just use the Colt Express.
Which I think also had, like, there was the expansion for that which was demoed at another little Asmodee event they had as well. I'll mention a couple other quick little events that went on, then we can play some more games, and we'll look at your questions. Yeah, we'll answer some questions
everywhere.
BGG also set up a gaming room there. That was, I think, the first time they'd done that. They had a hotel room that wasn't being used, that they had an opportunity to just basically create a library of new games. You could go in there and then rent table space. Not rent. Actually, yeah, it required tickets, but then you could sit down and play the games for a certain amount of time. That was awesome. It was packed. Every time I was in there, it was packed with people playing new games. Great service to provide for folks, especially for games, again, that sold out quickly. Because here you could go and actually find it and play it if you really wanted to, right? And, another thing I did was I demoed Ashes for Plaid Hat. Every year I try to demo something at the Plaid Hat booth for fun, like for other people who want to come in. And so Ashes was the one I really wanted to do, and I did that, and that was great. I talked to 4 new people, plus a couple other people who kind of watched over, people's shoulders, and that was a great deal of fun. I have to say, though, you walk away from that experience with a totally different appreciation for people who do demos all day long. I get to do 2 hours and walk away. But doing that all day long, I mean, you have to talk louder. You have to be kind of on and engaging, because you've got people at the table, too. Maybe one person really wants to be there. Maybe the other one got dragged there by the other person, right?
True.
And it's, there's lots of distractions and things going on. So it's really God's work, I have to say. Like, kudos to everyone who is a demo person who that's how they spend their convention, because it's a great deal of work.
I must say that reminds me just from someone watching other people demo. The one question I can never stand when someone's demoing is. Why does that work that way? It's like, I don't know. I'm demoing this game. I know the rules. I don't personally know the designer and why he decided upon it that way. I don't really understand the theme completely. I'm just trying to show you how to play.
Yes, I have, and sometimes you'll end up with that person. They'll ask that about everything that happens, right? It's like, buddy, we're not here to.
It's like, thematically, why does this happen when I go here? It's like, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Love your inquisition, though, but yeah. So, I'll mention one other quick thing as this kind of relates to events, and then we'll go to questions. So, Tom Vassell approached me and Jamie from the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast to do a presentation with him, board game media do's and don'ts. So, the idea behind this presentation was to share some of our experiences about, here's some things we suggest if you're thinking about doing board game media, or maybe you already are. Here's some things to maybe avoid as well. So, hopefully we provided some meaningful information. We had a nice crowd. It filled the room. And then afterwards, people stuck around and we talked one-on-one and answered some questions as well. If you'd like to see that presentation, I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description of this video, but it is currently on the Dice Tower channel as well. If I don't end up putting it there and someone wants to put a comment below, not in the chat, the live chat, but later on, I'll see it and then I'll add it in. All right, let's answer some questions. Should we do that, or did you?
Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice a couple people commented on the potion game and said things about being a Sicilian and Princess Bride. There were quite a few Princess Bride jokes made while we were there
right.
with the potions.
Okay.
Or the wine, the goblets. I keep calling them potions.
Yeah, it was, okay, that game was definitely one where I could see people doing even a little bit of cosplay, a party game where you could just go, and at the end, the way you end the round is someone proposes a toast. Now everyone has to, or you get one more round and then everyone has to drink, right? They raise their glasses and they drink.
And you have to decide, are you the kind of man who would put the poison in front of himself or in front of his opponent?
I'd put it in front of my opponent.
I
know. Okay, so we have a question, go way back here from Color Mage 1. Question, I know you don't review games, but how many times does a reviewer need to play a legacy game to accurately review it? And is it more than other games? And if it is that fair? That's a big question. And I think it's also an impossible question in some respects. Like, I understand what you're trying to go for here. Like, in order to review a game thoroughly, one should have a good understanding of not just the one game you play, but of the entire story that's being presented. Because when someone buys a legacy game, they're not just buying the one game that they're going to play. They're buying this larger game that's going to get unlocked over time, right?
That being said, you have to enjoy the first game.
Oh, absolutely, right. You have to. Well, it depends. Again, that kind of depends on the player too. Some players have more tolerance for that, but you want that first game to be a good hook as well, right? To keep someone sticking around. That's a valuable thing as well. So I don't really know how to say that. I know for myself it was a little easier because I'm not reviewing it. I'm just teaching people how to play, so I can just play the prologue or have an understanding of the prologue, and then I can teach it, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, if someone is giving a review of the entire legacy game, then they should have played it all the way through.
I think so.
But I think if they've only played a portion of it, then I think they can certainly share their experience of that portion, and hopefully that provides some meaningful information for the other players. It's a harder game to play multiple times. Like, if you're saying, reviewer, you must play it multiple times, and we're saying, like, the beginning of that game, you need to play it multiple times. What are they supposed to do? Like, buy 5 copies of it so they can keep replaying it? Like, that's challenging. I think the whole thing of reviewing a legacy game is challenging. You probably want to rely on the input from several different people, and if that's what you kind of feel you need before you can pull the trigger on a game like that.
And I do think a review of the first few games is important information anyway, because like I said, I think you have to enjoy the first few games of a legacy game for it to be enjoyable. Like, you can say that, if you finish Pandemic Legacy, it's amazing, you're going to love it.
Right.
I want to love it for game 1, 2, and 3 as well. I don't want to have to wait. It's the same with TV shows. If you told me, just keep watching, season 2 is amazing, I'm going to say, maybe I'll try something else.
See, that's the thing. Like, there are certain shows, like The Wire is a good example. I love The Wire on HBO, but I often say when I suggest it to people, like, give it 5 episodes. Now, not everyone's going to be interested in doing that. Yeah. So if you're not interested in doing that, that's fine. That's not the show for you. But I really do think it's a thing that pays off if you kind of stick around. But again, like that's something that maybe you have to communicate when you give your review. Okay, this game does have a payoff, but if you're the kind of person who needs to have that payoff early on, then this might not be for you.
You think they'll ever make a The Wire, the board game?
I don't think so. It'd be too depressing. Okay, love that show, by the way. There's a review for you. Okay, Kabuki Kid, question. Have you played Arboretum yet? Yes.
Yes.
That one really should get an accurate tutorial since scoring is confusing to newbies. Yeah, that would be a game I would certainly consider featuring. It passes the test of things I look for in games I would review.
It's funny. I actually thought you did.
Oh, did you?
I remember I was looking at a list of games for some reason, and Arboretum came up, and I'm like, yeah, there's a watch I played for that. And I looked for it. I looked for it, and it wasn't there.
Just by default, always tell people there is, and then maybe they'll find another game.
Monopoly. There's a watch I played for Monopoly.
There is, kind of.
Kind of. Go find it.
All right, let's jump down here.
Oh, people went a while without asking questions.
Well, that's because we were doing the game, right? So there was a lot of people talking about that.
There's a question. It's just not in all caps.
That's true. Okay, Joseph Lynn asks a question I don't want to answer. Have you won any games of Cry Havoc with your son yet? Or just more brutal losses? Just more brutal losses. But they're getting the gap between the losses are shrinking. I did a lot better, too, at Gen Con when I played with the guys. I played the Trogs, and I did a lot better.
I heard good things about being the Trogs.
Trogs is fun because right at the beginning, you get a lot of points because you just have a lot of dudes on the map right away. But then everyone else, starts to invade your spaces. I do want to mention something quickly. If you do want to ask a question, it's best to put the word question in all caps at the beginning and then your question because it makes it easier for us to see it.
Jarkith?
Our friend Mitchell.
Yeah.
Maybe. We think it's Mitchell. Did Pep get any new fancy dice at Gen Con?
I didn't, except whenever I was leaving the board game Do's and Don'ts, someone stopped me and gave me a dice and said, here's your Gen Con dice. And it's like, oh, thank you.
That's amazing.
Like, it was just as I was walking by, too. It's like, oh, this is awesome.
Because Pep always gets dice at Gen Con.
Yeah, and that was actually the only dice that I got. Yeah. The only die that I got. Right. I very much appreciate it.
Oh, man. I love our viewers. They're the best. That's so cool. Let's see. Jeff Briggs, glad to hear you got the promo cards. Excellent. Joseph had to leave us because he got commanded to go listen to the Seer Cabal. That's fine. Perfectly fine. I commanded it. I'm glad you did it. Let's see here. Coming on down to here's a whole batch of questions.
Mr.
Oh dear. Okay. Mr. Pixelman asks, where did Pelvedar come from? It sounds like a past RPG character, perhaps. Very close. When I was younger, I used to love starting epic projects. I would try to design an RPG system, or I would just try to design like a huge trading card game, or one time I tried writing a fantasy epic novel, and one of the characters in that was Pelvedar. I just made up that name. I wanted to come up with something, and it was a paladin. Maybe that's why the P and the P, but Pelvedar and Paladin. And he was like, like the typical holy knight on a quest type of thing.
He sounds like a knight.
Yeah,
like a paladin.
Good. Well, that was kind of what I was going for. And then I started using it online in the early days of the internet because I'm an old man. Because I figured no one else is ever going to use this as a username. Because I don't like Rodney Smith 175432. I wanted something unique, right? So that's why I started using Pelvedar. There's the exciting history behind that.
Yeah, I like trying to make up a username. Like the one I always used for the longest time was Rakurin.
Right.
And I got that from the Shadowrun game for the Genesis. There's a Renraku arcology you can go to, and I like that Renraku. And so I used that for a little bit, and then I decided if I switched the two to Rakurin, I liked it better. And I just used that forever.
Again,
and I never saw anyone else. No. Yeah, I never saw anyone else using it. So.
Yep, very cool. There's our histories of our handles. Natalie Hall asks, what games did you bring back? My wish list includes Potion Explosion and Vast. Vast is a game I heard tons about while I was there, and I've heard tons about since. I have not brought back with me. It's probably the #1 game people have sent me messages about specifically to say, hey, are you doing a Vast instructional video for that game? I'm not currently. I don't even have a copy of the game. I brought back a few things. I brought back some stuff from Cool Me or Not, Masmora. It's hard to list all the things.
Right,
there wasn't an endless amount. I try not to go too far overboard with the games that I bring back, because again, specifically, I'm bringing back things that I'm intending to feature videos for, right? So I'm not looking to just get tons of free games. So pretty selective that way. But I filled a suitcase, and I'm honestly right now drawing a blank. There was a good 4 or 5, 6 different Cool Me or Not games at least.
Speechless.
And Speechless, yeah.
Kaleidos.
Right.
Did we bring back Bloodborne?
Yes,
we brought back Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Ice Cool.
Ice Cool, that's right. Got that one too.
The Harry Potter deck builder.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I've been hearing things. So.
Yep.
Let's see. Show Hero. Rodney, did you have any hands-on experience with the new Ashes expansions? No, I did get my copies. I went through all of them, and I have already put a couple of the cards into my deck, but I haven't had a chance to play those.
We'll have to do that.
I hope so, because there's actually going to be in Halifax an Ashes tournament. Halifax is a city in a province about 4 hours from here, and I'm hoping to go to that maybe. So sort of a local Ashes tournament scene, which would be fun to be a part of. Kabuki Kid, did you fly Delta? No, I did not. If you didn't hear, Delta flights.
Oh, I heard
tons of them got canceled, and people were like left days and days waiting to get home. Dan Zielinski asks, loved your board game media segment. Was there something said, asked, profound, that you will be implementing into your channel?
Like, did you hear anything like maybe from the other two that you thought, you need to think this way and kind of implement this now?
I wouldn't say so, but it's not because the other gentleman didn't have good suggestions. Jamie and I talked a fair bit before the show about the things that we were going to bring up, just to make sure we weren't overlapping each other too much. I think Jamie and I share a very similar philosophy. I'm not intending to exclude Tom from this. I just talked to Jamie a little bit more about the process of creating our channels. And so I think we already kind of share a similar sort of system of thinking about and approaching it.
Yeah, and admittedly, like Tom even said himself whenever you guys got up there that you guys had a book with you, and Tom had a sheet of a couple little key things he wanted to mention.
Yeah, so Jamie and I wrote 4 pages worth of content. There's a lot actually that did not get shared, which is probably for the best. I could have filled up the entire time myself. I think Jamie could have as well. That's what Tom was worried about, I think, and rightly so, because we wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to say something, and also people got to ask questions, right? But I certainly I have my mind open all the time to think about other things to work into. For example, my special list of rules I try to follow. Josiah Bennett asks, my son just turned 1 and he's awesome, and we got another one on the way. Me and my wife used to game a lot, but now we are lucky to get 1 game a week. My question, does it get better? If by getting better, do you mean to get to play more games? Yeah, because you then, assuming your children enjoy gaming and assuming you introduce it to them in the, I'll say, the quote-unquote right way. In other words, you gear the games towards what they would enjoy, not just what you'd enjoy, then I think you'll find, hey, you have some in-home gamers, more in-home gamers, which will mean more family time and more games to play together.
It's like your own personal game group.
Exactly. And as they get older, of course, they become more responsible, and you can get out of the house more often for game nights.
I like this next one.
Oh, yeah?
Amanda Wong says, was there a game you missed out on, didn't get to play, or something that you really wanted? I assume at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah. The one I really most wanted to play was Mansions of Madness, and I got that one in. I don't think so, but the Networks was a game I was interested in trying out, and I didn't get a chance to try that one. Did you have any that?
Islebound comes to mind.
Islebound,
I meant to grab or see Islebound, and I did get to demo Near and Far.
Oh, you did? That's right. I forgot.
Which was very interesting. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say good.
Very good. I know, but you didn't say good.
But I didn't until right now.
Until now. Yeah, I think there was booths I didn't get to, like the Renegade Games booth. They had a bunch of stuff there I would have loved to have checked out, and I just didn't get over there. That show is nuts. Okay, cool. Color Mage asked the question again about Legacy, but don't worry, we did see that earlier. We answered it. 20-Sided Turtle, I asked Rodney about working with friends at Gen Con, but Pep, what is it like to work with a friendly boss or bossy friend or a Rodney? Yeah, what's that like, Pep?
Gen Con was we were pretty hands off anyway.
Yeah.
If anything, I was bossing you around more than you were bossing me around, because I was sending you messages literally every time I tried a game, and I was like, "This is good. You maybe do this in the show. This is maybe too fluffy." And every once in a while, you just message me and be like, hey, got these.
Picked up this, or thought this was interesting. Or
there wasn't really any, except the last day of Gen Con. I think you were on your way home and just decided you wanted to torture me and send me a message every 10 minutes being like, hey, can you go and grab this? Can you check this out?
I remember I was like, Pep, how much room do you have in your luggage? I need to move a whole bunch of stuff into your luggage.
Yeah.
So I have room in mine because there's this thing I need to bring home. and I need to make space for it.
I remember that. It's like 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. and I'm out walking with Bebo on like the boardwalk, and we get this message, and it's like this
I was writing
emergency.
her.
Like, yeah, you're writing. You wrote me, and then a minute later you wrote her because you're like, I don't think he's checking his messages. It's like it's been a minute.
Well, Pep and I are both Canadians, so when we go to the States, we don't always have reliable cell service, right? So I knew I could reach Bebo if not Pep. But thankfully, that crisis was averted.
And I knew that you were flying out in a couple hours too, so I'm like, this must really be an emergency. You sound panicked.
Yeah, it was an emergency at the time, but it all got sorted out.
It all worked out. Oh, and I had to give away a game at the airport. I forgot about that.
Yeah, tell that story. That's a good story.
Yeah, so I packed everything as best I could, left as much as I could behind that wasn't necessary, and I got to the airport and weighed my bag, and it was something like 6 pounds over. I'm like, oh. So I grab a couple pairs of shorts and jam them into the sides of my backpack, which took a couple pounds off, but I knew I just had to give a game up. And so it was Crossmaster Arena, right?
Right, I think so.
It was Crossmaster Arena.
That one would have some weight to it.
It had a lot of weight to it, too. And it was right on top. So the lady who was weighing my bag, I said,
the TSA lady or
whatever. Yeah, I said, hey, do you play board games, or do you want a board game? She's like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, she was excited. I expected her to be like, no.
I love that. I love that she was excited about it.
Yeah, she was excited.
I mean, I'm not happy that you had to give up the game, but I'm kind of happy you did, because you gave it to somebody who maybe gonna appreciate it, right?
And somebody tweeted at me later and said, yeah, I ran into that same lady, and she asked, like, hey, have you played this game before? Is this good? So she was asking people about the game. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, well, let's go down here, a couple more questions. Then we'll play a little bit more Box of Rocks. Question: do you think it's possible? Oh, this is from Joseph Snithen. Do you think it's possible for a written board game blog to gather a following as strong as a YouTube channel, or is there too big of a disadvantage from the way people consume media? That's tough. I mean, my instinct is to say that it would be very hard to reach the same level, but that is more about where the hobby's at right now. If someone was to do it and stay consistent, and again, write in a clever way, write in an engaging way, have good imagery, pictures, etc. There's lots of people who go to popular news sites on the internet every day to check content. I do. So if it was seen as valuable like that, then that could gather a following just as big as a YouTube channel. I think that's important too. You mentioned pictures. I think pictures are hugely important, because I'm reading something, especially something, it has to be very engaging for me to keep reading the whole thing, especially gaming related. Especially board games. Board games. Talking about the pieces when you could just show it and then talk about it is a little more.
Yeah, but when you see a picture, suddenly you want to know, I want to know more about this. I want to know where this comes from. And I think really good art is very necessary, really good photography.
Shut Up and Sit Down, a very excellent YouTube series now. They are also on Vimeo. We're on Vimeo. And they also do excellent blog posts, very funny, very humorous. And obviously, again, I don't think they're as popular as they are because of that particular content, but that's really good content. And someone just making that content, I think, could draw an audience if that was their interest. I just think that YouTube and podcasting is the easier method of gathering a following. So, Joseph Lynn asked, what will be the next Watch It Played? I think it'll be Mansions of Madness. We'll have to wait and see. As far as a gameplay video, we had some ideas kicking around about what we want to do next. The question is, when will we do it next? I would definitely like to do a playthrough of Mansions of Madness. Like tomorrow, he says. But see, I feel like I need to script. And Mansions of Madness, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. It's using FFG's 2 rulebook system, which always is problematic for me.
I think we need to do something smaller in between.
Yeah, maybe something small. We'll see. So we'll try to get something launched in the next few days on that. We'll see.
Like maybe rock, paper, scissors.
Dan asks, what questions on your BGG guild be answered? Or shall I ask them here? Let's answer 2 of these, and then we'll play. You know what?
Let's do 2.
Okay, 2. All right. Dan Zelinsky asks, have you thought of starting a Watch It Play network similar to Dice Tower Network that can help provide you additional material and a venue to delegate games you don't have time for? I have thought about it. I have seen people doing instructional videos that I thought, oh, that's really good. Like, I really like that. I'd love to be able to support it, maybe using the audience I have.
Get like a Rodney team up. We'll call it Rodney.
Rodney runs through it played.
Rodney runs through it played. That's amazing.
There you go. Richard, let's talk. So I haven't given it serious consideration because time. I do feel like doing something like that would require like a good deal of attention, and I have to figure out, okay, I would want the content created to be consistent. Like I wouldn't want, I have a certain quality of content I'm trying to put out.
Oh, I know.
Pep knows, he has to deal with me when he makes the videos himself. So I would like the content in any kind of network to be somewhat consistent.
Yeah,
and there's certainly other people making content that I would consider as good as what I'm doing, if not better. So there's definitely people out there. But again, the thought of, okay, how would I launch that, and what would I do, and what would the system be, and all the rest of it, I haven't really put thought to. But it's a good idea. Another question for Pep from Dan as well. Dan, you get 2 questions. Plus, I think you had other questions in there. So,
hogging all the questions.
Hogging all the questions, Dan. For Pep, what class do you main in Guild Wars 2, and does your guild have room for a PvE-focused engineer?
I don't play very much anymore. I don't think I've played it at all, I think, in 6 months.
Okay.
But Mesmer and Warrior primarily are what I use.
Yep.
As for the guild, I'm not entirely sure I'm in a guild anymore because they have somewhat of a 3 to 4 month auto kick rule, and I haven't been there in 6 months. So,
are you valuable enough that they kept you, or did they?
I think I have. I mean, I've been there since the start of Guild Wars 2, literally.
Right.
So if they kicked me out, I'd feel kind of bad. But I better go check. Actually,
do you want to go check?
No, I'll do it after.
Okay, all right. We can maybe post that in the comments later if anyone's curious.
I'm still in.
I made it. Okay, let's play another game. Okay, people come for the talk, but they also come for the games.
Here, I'll ask you some rock questions.
We'll team up as the humans here.
Yeah.
All right.
The number of queens in an ant colony.
Oh, that's got to be 1. Definitely. It's funny, like the box might guess 0.
The box guessed 0.
I think I've got this one.
I can show you guys.
Tilt skills, pretty good, very good, very good. So the box said 0.
The answer is... There is 1 queen ant that the drones service.
All right, we are beating the box of rocks. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Another question.
All right. The number of islands held in Danish territory.
Well,
I went from easy to hard.
Because of my intimate knowledge of the Danish territories, I would say 2.
The box of rocks thinks it is 1.
All right, let's see who's right. The box of rocks or Rodney Smith?
Greenland is the only island held in Danish territory. The rocks advance.
I couldn't remember what I guessed. I hope I said 1. All right.
The next answer could be the last, because that's all you have to get is 3.
Should we work together? For this last question, we'll both see if we can come up with the answer.
Okay.
So, well, number...
so everyone pick either A, B, or C.
Okay, everyone, guess, A, B, or C. The first one that we see on here, and there's going to be a slight delay.
The first one we see 3 times.
No, the first one that we see.
No, they'll type really fast.
We'll see.
Watch this.
Okay. Someone said 2, so they're still guessing.
There's 2 twos.
Questions.
1 more 2 is all we need.
Okay, 2. So, the number of old maids in a game of Old Maid. Now, this is tricky, because I think you really only play with 1, but... the copies I had always came with 2.
Oh.
But you really only play with 1 in the game, as far as I recall.
People actually wanted C. 2 was people trying to answer the question. Let's switch to that one.
All right, we're going to C, because I think Old Maid's too easy.
Yeah.
The number of letters in the English alphabet that do not appear in the name of a U.S. state. We're going to just have to go for this, because I'm not going to say
at least one of them is going to be Q. I don't think there's anything with Q.
Is there an X?
Texas, TX, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the worst question. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for question C.
Oh, they're helping. Oh, no, I don't want to look at the answer.
I'm going to say 2.
I'll say 2 as well. It seems like the audience thinks
What do we got here?
Oh, right.
The box of rocks. Wake up, box of
rocks. The rocks think that there is only 1.
All right.
This box smells really good.
Is
here.
1. Q is the only letter in the alphabet that does not appear. Hey, the box of rocks.
I was right.
It was right. Q. Oh, no, we lost to a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Haywire Group. So that's, again, Haywire Group's the company that made this game. When I heard about it, I just...
Did you know that these rocks teach evening classes at the university?
They have all kinds of goofy little jokes on here. I like the tagline. It says, "Dumb name, smart game." And I just thought, as soon as I saw this, I said, you know what? Having little house parties, or someone's coming over, and something quick just to bring out and kind of surprise people with. It's kind of fun to be playing a game with someone and saying, doesn't quite seem like you're smarter than a box of rocks, right? So
it's a fun little spin on a trivia game.
Do you remember how much you paid for that?
I do, because it was $10 or 2 for $20.
Sure.
And I thought that was an amazing deal.
That is good. Okay, let's play another little game. Actually, let's answer a couple questions, then we'll play another little game here. Any questions up here? Xantos Volkova. I am not actively playing Pokemon Go. We do have it installed. Luke has an account, and if we're out, we might turn it on occasionally. I haven't touched it though in about 7 days. What about you? Are you actively playing anymore?
Not anymore, not so much. I'm waiting for the whole tracker thing to be mostly resolved, which they are. The next update is going to make it so that you can see the Pokemon at the closest Pokestop. It'll show you what Pokestop they're nearest.
That's true.
And they'll ping them on the map, which is neat. But yeah, I played a lot when I was in Seattle with Bebo, and I played a lot when I got home. A friend of mine, Logan, we drove around like crazy playing Pokemon.
In the area, the little town that we're in, I would not call it like a Pokemon Go hotspot, but
we have 14 Pokestops and 5 gyms all within walking distance.
It's actually pretty good.
It's
pretty good.
Yeah,
We're not
a small town.
We're not awash with Pokemon though.
You're right. There's almost
a lot of Pidgeys everywhere.
Ironically, because the game is based off of the I can't remember the name of it.
The tourism map or whatever.
It's based off of Ingress. It's based off of the Ingress, and it's the Ingress data. So like where there used to be a huge amount of Ingress players, more Pokemon would appear.
But I think even the Ingress map is based off of some because it already has the pictures of locations in there. It's pulling it off of some tourism.
What I mean though is that's why there's no Pokemon here. Like if you go down a trail, people aren't normally down the trail, so it won't populate Pokemon there because no one has ever gone down that trail playing Ingress. And it's so weird. So you think there'd be more Pokemon in the wild, but there aren't. There's more Pokemon in the city.
That's right. They're all hanging out in the city. Where they're going to be caught. That's where they hang out. Not the smartest.
They're not the smartest. No.
Aaron Long asks, any plans to play the new RPG Star Wars: The Force Awakens Fantasy Flight?
I was going to mention that.
Really?
Yeah, because you talked about Fantasy Flight, and I was going to say, hey, I didn't get to check that out. Did you?
No, I did not. I probably not, because I just don't play RPGs in general, although I want to. Just time and things.
Even 5th edition, you own.
I own
every single book, all the cards, all the starter sets. I think if there's special custom 5th edition
GM
dice,
screen,
you probably the GM screen, which I'm jealous.
The 2 new books that are coming out, I want to buy those.
Yeah, have you played it yet?
The idea of playing it. I've actually prepared to play it. I learned enough to run the first beginner box scenario, and just it didn't happen. Okay, let's see here.
Question.
Aaron Long, thoughts of Mystic Vale and planning. Playing a how to play. Are we going to feature Mystic Vale on Watch It Played? I turned to you like you're going to tell me.
Well, sometimes I do tell you. I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. And you're like, I don't know.
I don't have a copy of it. Do you have a copy of it?
Oh, I forgot. No. We don't have a copy of it.
So we're not planning to do it currently. It's not currently on the schedule. Watch It Played, at least my time, is booked solid till January. Pep, we haven't booked up all your time yet. So there's always a chance to do that way. Okay. Oh boy, lots of questions down here. We'll go through a few of them. Then I really want to play Speechless so badly. You'll let me play Speechless, right?
Oh, it'll happen. Okay. Well, what time is it? Oh, we still have an hour.
Pete Spooner, question: if you shake your head, does it sound the same as a box of rocks? After the game we just played, probably. Amanda Wong says, do you buy games to give to your friends as gifts? Inadvertently, sometimes I do. I end up with games I bought that I'll sometimes call my collection. I'm at the point now when I call my collection, I'm actually calling games that are good, sometimes very good. It's just, I'm not going to get this to the table anytime soon, so hey, friend, why don't you take this?
Yeah, I'm having to do something similar to my shelf right now. There's a whole table of stuff over there that either isn't mine or needs to go away.
Right.
And it's just because I only have so much room on my shelves, and I mean, I'm not going to buy more shelves.
What a terrible problem to have, right? I mean, but it's
I don't have a lot of shelf space. I try to keep. Do you want to check the batteries?
Sorry to interrupt you mid-thought, but I just
let's check all our batteries.
Make sure that
we're an hour in, so
okay. Yeah, always good to know. Matt Anderson asks a good question that I did not explain. There were 3 rocks, so what happens if they all came up with a mark on them? One of them doesn't have a mark on them. I think the reason for that must be just so there's 3 rocks in there to jingle around and knock the other ones around as you shake them up. You know what I mean?
It might work the average out better that way too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the math is there, but so 2 of them have a hash mark on one side and the other side's blank, and the other one's just completely blank.
Yeah.
Great question. Andrew Smith, do you prefer Origins or Gen Con? Origins, no question.
Really?
That's a quick answer, wasn't it?
I prefer Gen Con.
Do you? So I love Gen Con, but Gen Con Also, there's lots of things I don't love. So I shouldn't say I love Gen Con. Gen Con is an event I go to. It's very important to be there, I think, as someone who's in the hobby on some level in the industry, etc. But it is a busy show. It's an exhausting show. I usually start tired, and then it just goes downhill the whole rest of the time. The saving grace there is everyone I run into is super kind. Definitely when I run into people who watch the show, they're always very nice. Everyone's so nice. Everyone's so nice, Pep. And that's the thing that keeps you kind of energized throughout is people who want to share something, a kind thought or comment or what the show meant to them or whatever. All of those things are super meaningful. So that is a part of the show that I walk away from and I really hold on to, especially as I spend the next several months in my basement alone or with Pep.
Recovering from
Gen Con. Those things are really inspiring and encouraging, right? And of course, getting to see my friends at the show, those are things I really love. Getting to see all the games, that's less important to me now because a lot of the games now I'm aware of before I go. Now, sometimes there are surprises. Those are neat. But a lot of times those surprises are things that aren't coming out now anyway. They're coming out down the road, right?
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Certain game, I think Codenames might be an example last year of a game that actually surprised me while it was there. Like I don't think I knew that Codenames was coming out, or I didn't have any hype on it. So then getting to play it was like, hey,
kind of.
And I find that doesn't happen that often. Normally, if something's coming, you know.
Yeah. Origins, I get all the things that I get at Gen Con, all the things I listed that I like. I get those at Origins. But it's not nearly as crazy feeling all the time, and I get a little more rest, and and there's lots of great food right in the nearby area. You're not usually waiting tons of time for it. At Gen Con, I skip a lot of meals, unfortunately. I think that wears me down as well.
I ate a lot of cheese at Gen Con.
Cheese. Yeah, we went to a meal out, and you
the Spoken Steel. I think
you pointed out one of the cheese dishes, and we had it.
Yeah, it was like a melted brie that you like dipped in bread, and it had pear and grapes, and it was amazing. We got it 3 days in a row, I think. Yeah, 4 days.
But the one time I had it, it was fantastic.
It was good.
Palooka Jim asks, Rodney, how does your wife feel about your profession these days? Well, I think she definitely feels a lot better about it now than she did maybe when I first started. And all I mean by that is she was very supportive when I first started. She had to be because she was supporting the show financially. But of course, it's very rewarding for her to go, okay, Rodney's actually making somewhat of a living at it now. I don't have to fend for the whole family myself, right? So again, that's why these fundraisers that you guys support mean a lot to me. They don't just mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to my wife as well and my whole family, right? So again, that's why if you kind of feel like, Rodney, you say thank you a lot. You seem really grateful a lot. It's because I get to feed my family because of the show and your support. So that's kind of important, right? So she's very happy and very enthusiastic and very supportive. In fact, she's playing more games with me these days than when we first started even, and some of the heavier games, which has been fun.
Well, because the more you're exposed to, the more you can expose her to. So better averages, better...
Yeah, that's right. I come across more games. I think this would appeal to Christy too, right? So that's been great. Let's stop. Let's play another little game. Oh, you know what? We'll answer one more question on here.
One more, yeah.
Okay.
And then speak.
So we have a Watch It Played guild, and if you're not subscribed to it already, please consider doing so. And what? No. In the description below, there will be a link to it. And one of the things I do before these live shows, I say, hey, if you have a question you'd like me to ask, we'll go ahead and submit it in advance. Striker J, plus several others, asked, if the Indiegogo campaign doesn't quite make it to the PEP level, will PEP still be able to help in some capacity? I'm holding out hope that you'll still make the goal. And then he has a secondary question, which again, other people asked. So let's start with that one. Will PEP be able to help in some capacity? In concept, yes, but here's I'll let you answer here, but I'll just answer something quickly here on this. PEP is currently unemployed, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Sorry, I don't mean to speak fully or share your personal business, but one of the businesses that was local here moved, so that put Pep without a job, so he was able to help out with the show more. But Pep obviously has to make a living. It'd be irresponsible for you not to be making a living for yourself. So we need the fundraiser amount to hit there so that I can afford to pay Pep so that he doesn't starve on the street, right?
Yeah, and nothing's for sure anyway. Like I'm probably going to stick around no matter what for the next few months.
Right.
It's just I don't know past that. So.
Right. If the funding isn't there, and then an opportunity comes up for Pep, and the job would require him to go somewhere else, then I would want Pep to take it. He'd be crazy not to. Right, in Alaska. Yeah, who knows? Or maybe any one of those states that doesn't have a Q in it somewhere. Like who knows where Pep would end up? So, or Greenland, which is not a state.
Does Albuquerque not have a Q in it?
Sounds like it should, but I don't think it's a state. It's not a state. It's a
I think it is.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know much about the states. Sorry. So that's just a practical consideration. If we don't hit 80,000 and Pep's not something else, got something else he's running off to do, might he stick around for something?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If I'm here, I'll definitely play games.
Right. But my hope is, of course, that we can secure something for Pep, so he has some security, and I have some security, knowing that I will have a sort of a permanent co-host for that year at least. Another question that got asked in amongst that, which we'll just put in here. Following up, does the current campaign lead you to consider moving to Kickstarter next year for more visibility? Visibility would be the only reason to change platforms, but the visibility only matters in a very specific context. I don't want random people to find out, oh, there's a show called Watch It Played. I think I will give money to it. Mm-hmm. I would want people to donate who are already people who watch It Played, think there's value in the show and want to see it continue. Or, for example, want to see Pep be able to continue being a part of the show. So I'm not really just looking to throw it out there to everyone who might be interested in games. It's not like having a Kickstarter for a game.
It's true. Because
there you're like, everyone, I want you to come look at this game. Maybe you'd want to play this and therefore buy this product that you're going to have and then play a game for. So our show and this whole fundraiser is a different animal. If I believed Kickstarter would put the campaign in front of more of my already current viewers who just sometimes miss my announcements about, hey, I'm running a fundraiser, then it might be of value in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something to think about anyway, but I don't think it's as obvious as a shift as it would seem.
Yeah, I think for other people, if you're producing a board game, I can see why they'd be thinking, oh, Kickstarter seems like the more logical choice. The other aspect is I have already paid for someone to create a backer survey and database for me that works specifically with Indiegogo already. So I'd have to look at BackerKit or one of these other things. I already understand Indiegogo and how that works. I understand I am asking people to move over to a platform that maybe they're not as used to if they're already Kickstarter users. So really I am asking my viewers, again, if our show is of value to you, then hopefully it's worth signing up for this other account and then making a donation. But I also understand if it's not, if you're like, no, that's too much of a bother, or I don't like Indiegogo for whatever reason, that's perfectly fine too. I don't. I'm just grateful for the donations that we do get.
And I guess that could be an argument for why you could move to Kickstarter as well, because there may be viewers currently that just won't donate to Indiegogo. Maybe they don't understand it. Maybe they aren't as comfortable with it.
There's also something the fees are different. The fee structure is different as well. It doesn't have the ability on Kickstarter. You can't do if I don't reach my funding goal, I still get to keep the amount I raised. Some people probably think it's foolish for me to say, well, I don't know if I'm going to make my funding goal, but I don't know if I'm going to make my funding goal. I really genuinely mean that. I don't know what happens when I hit launch, whether or not I'll fund. So if I was to get half of what I asked for or 3/4 of it, I would then do that much content for the year at the very least, right? So, and then try to figure out how I would make up the additional difference.
And just to clarify for people too, it's actually it's against the rules of both Kickstarter and Indiegogo to run simultaneous campaigns, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As far as I know, even within one system, you're not supposed to be running two campaigns.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play a little game of Speechless. Can we please?
Yeah, I know. Okay. Let's do it.
So we're going to play Speechless. Speechless is a game by Arcane Wonders. It's also part of the Dice Towers Essentials line. And it's a charades game. I don't review games, but I'll say I love charades games, and this is a charades game. So this one's unique. We don't have the main components over here, but do you want to run over for the first?
I'll go for the first.
I can maybe talk people through the rules here.
Oh, I stepped on it. So hey, this is the art that I got at Gen Con.
Oh, very nice. Well, so is that a part of a theme of something, or is it just something you like the look of?
No, we were just walking around looking at the artists and saw this one, and Bibo picked it up for me while she picked up. I really like the one that she grabbed. It was an orc wearing a flower crown. It was really cute. Yeah.
I did not spend any time in the art hall, and it's really, or the art area, and it's awesome. There's lots of good artwork there. Last year I saw plenty that I enjoyed.
There was actually something else. People can hear me from here because of this. There's actually something else that I saw and it was really interesting. There were little dragons that were made after berries. So there was a strawberry dragon and a blueberry dragon and a cherry dragon. They're all very neat. And the only reason I didn't grab them because normally in the art section, there's a rule where you have to get a little slip of paper and then you have to go over to the cash register a couple lanes away, pay for it, and then come back with another slip and take the art. And they've done that every year that I've gone to Gen Con, except this year they finally got rid of that. And a lot of the artists there were very happy because
really?
now you can literally just hand them money, take their art, instead of a long, convoluted system.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember there being, the lines weren't great, right?
The lines weren't great, and it was confusing. And a lot of people would like, okay, I'd like to buy this art, and they said, oh, you have to go here and do this, and they said, never mind.
No, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they put barriers in the way. Well, everyone, you can see me, you can see Pep.
Okay.
Speechless is a charades style game. He's going to have 3 cards he's placing in front of him right now in the trays. Hopefully you can see that. One is green, one is yellow, one is red. Each has 2 single words on them. So there's going to be 6 different things he's going to be acting out. He's first going to do the green card starting at the top, and then do the second, then do the bottom, then go to yellow, do the top, bottom, red, top, and bottom again. So 6 different things he'll act out. So what he's going to do is he starts acting out, he's going to go like this. That doesn't mean one word like you'd normally see in charades, because each of the solutions are only one word. It just means I'm acting the first one out. Then when he's done, he'll go like this when he wants to, and he'll start acting out the second word, the third word, and so on. You got the timer out already. So there's a timer there, which is about, I think it's a minute, or is it 90 seconds?
It might be 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It's a certain number of sand grains. And so he has that much time to act out all 6 of them. Now, if there's time left over, I can, as a guesser, I can say, oh, can you do 3 again, or can you do 2 again? And again, I say it, but I don't. I only signal to you, because this is called speechless. He doesn't talk, I don't talk.
We never do that when we play. We the person who's giving the clues will go back and do them again, but we've never had the other people cue.
Yeah, so one of the rules in there is people on the table can say, hey, I want this again. Because you oftentimes do want people to guess correctly, because how the scoring works. But we'll talk about the scoring once we get to the end of this. So you guys at home, feel free to follow along and make your own guesses as well, because you can score at the end of this round as well. So we're going to have an infinite number of players. The game comes with these boards here, and the boards show 6 different lines, and each one has a number 1 and a 2 beside it. That has to do with the scoring, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So I'm going to be writing down my answers on this dry erase board with the marker here as Pep acts them out. Pep, are you ready to go?
I am, and so for everyone at home, don't put your answers in right away. Write them all down in secret, and then everyone can post at the same time so we can check your scores.
So glad you clarified that. Don't write your answers in the chat. I mean,
right away.
We can't stop you. Yeah, don't do it right away, because we're actually going to ask for your answers in the chat once we're all done, because that's part of the game as well. Pep, do you want to bring me the timer, and I can flip it here, so whoever's doing and I'll...
But yeah, so if you guys do the scoring that way, and you put all your answers at once, somebody from the audience might actually win.
Right, that's true. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. And timer started.
Oh.
If you're waiting for me to signal, there's no rule that says I signal. You just go. Yeah, okay. Oh dear, he's on the move. You are allowed to grab objects in the room. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see. Yeah. I'm feeling good here. All right. Oh, you didn't do number 5 yet. That doesn't know what a 6 is. All right, here we go. Number 5. Oh, okay. You can nod or shake your head like this if you want to the person. 6. Confusion? Okay. Oh, time's up. Shoot, I didn't write in the last one.
Oh, no.
I wonder if someone else did. Okay, so time ran out on that one. I was getting close.
A couple of these were hard.
Yeah, that last one was particularly... You stay there if you want, Pep.
Anyone who gets number 3, other than Rodney, I'm going to be really impressed.
Yeah, that's right, because they couldn't see what you were pointing at.
I know.
That's so mean. Okay, everyone, so now you're going to get a chance to answer with everyone else here.
Oh, you want me to stay here?
Yeah, you stay there, and because you're going to confirm. So what would normally happen now is we would go around the table. Pep would not say what number 1 was, we would all answer what we thought number 1 was, and then he would say what it actually was. So I'm going to say it was cut. I thought he was cutting, so cut. And you guys can now put in the chat as well what you think it was.
Well, just put all 6 in. Everyone should put all 6 in at once, and then I'll just go. Yeah, don't go one at a time.
Okay, because normally you would do the scoring as you do it one by one as well, but we can do it after the fact. All right, so I put cut. Then for number 2, I put dance. So if you want, you can put like all in one line with commas, like your 6 answers.
Yeah.
So I said cut for the first one. Second one, I said dance. The third one, I said fridge, because he was pointing at his refrigerator, I think. Then I said pencil, because he pointed at a pencil. Then I said rope. And the last one I wasn't sure about. So everyone here is now writing in their answers, which is great. Someone wrote kitchen when you pointed over there. That was a good guess.
That's pretty close.
Very good,
yeah.
very good. So Pep, what were the correct answers? Now here's how it works. If you guess the answer correctly, you get 2 points for each of the answers. If you got the answer wrong, but somebody else also guessed the same thing you did, I think to keep it simple, you have to guess with me. Then you get 1 point for that. And if you just didn't get either a pairing with me or the right answer, you get no points. All right? And then you just total up.
So the first one was not cut, it was claw. I was making claws.
Oh, claw. All right.
Yeah.
So if you put cut, then you got 1 point, because I said cut. If you put claw, you get 2 points. Otherwise, you get no points, like me.
Second one was dance. You were right.
Okay, dance. Although I suppose I could be getting potentially 1 point if someone else said cut, but I won't worry about me. So was it dance was? Okay, so was 2 points for me.
Number 3 was refrigerator or fridge.
Yep.
I really like that someone got kitchen, though, because they know that my kitchen's that way.
There's a funny little rule about words. So if the word that you guess is inside the correct answer, so I said fridge and refrigerator, then you get points for it. If I had said refrigerator, but the word was fridge, refrigerator is not inside of fridge, so it's wrong.
I have to say right now that I'm very impressed that you read the rules to this.
Right.
Because every other game I've played and every other group of people I've played with, if we haven't read the rules, we played based on the basic idea of the game. We've never looked at the rules. So the fact that you know these extra
pandemic legacy and didn't read the rules.
The rules are the regular pandemic rules with a little bit of extra stuff. I didn't need to read them.
I die inside a little bit every time. Okay.
Number 4 was pencil. You're right.
Pencil. Okay, yay. Yep. And number 5?
Number 5 was rope.
Okay, good.
You're right about
really
that
hoping
as well.
That was.
Number 6 was dungeon. And I really didn't know how to do that, so I eventually gave up and went to grab a Dungeons and Dragons book.
Yeah.
And then I started being a dragon and then making an X. So not the dragon.
I was thinking adventurer, but
yeah.
Very good. Okay. So I didn't answer for that one, so you can't get 1 point off the last one. So you guys understand how to score here? So I got 2, 4, 6, 8 points. So there's another dry erase thing here for marking in. So we'll put Pep, we'll put Rodney, and Rodney got, what did I say, 2, 4, 6, 8 points. So normally the person who was providing the acting, they would ask, okay, who at the table got the most absolutely correct answers? Not the half points, but who got the most of the 2-point answers? And then whoever that was, so let's say that I got 3 of the answers exactly correct, you double that, and then that person would get 6 points. So in this case, Pep, for example, if I had gotten the most correct answers, I had 4 of them right, Pep would get 8 points for that. I don't know how to check it against this here because I don't want to slowly go through all the different answers to find out if someone got all.
Yeah, I'll do it later. I'll tell everyone who won.
So for this one, I'm going to give you the points that I got. So 8 points. This means we're going to be a perfect tie no matter what. So this is really going to be all about you guys afterwards, unless Pep can confirm later on that somebody else got all of them right. So Pep,
are we switching places
now?
Yeah,
we'll switch places now.
Okay.
I'll come up and I'll do some acting. So this is a game for you guys at home more than it is for us. But hopefully also you're learning the rules to the game. All right. So get ready to flip the timer. So
first, see if anyone. Matt Anderson, good job. You got all of them except the last one, and I didn't get to finish it. So.
Oh, so that means you got 8. 2, 4.
I got 10 points.
10 points. Go ahead and put 10 points in. Maybe someone else can in all caps if they know someone got all 6 or something like that. They can shout it out in case we see it. So I'm grabbing from. Yes, Pep did not read the rules because he doesn't know. You put them into the front and you take from the back. All right, here we go. Oh boy. I'm ready, Pep. Ready to flip it?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Oh, right, I'm supposed to be writing.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I'm not allowed to make noises. I love the little okay noise he makes between each one.
Time? We good?
Yeah, time's up.
Okay. All right. Those couple there, I really was not sure at all. I haven't seen these ones before, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to show this.
I have to say,
I hope some people got a couple of those, especially number 3 and number 5.
I really have to say, every game of charades of some sort that comes with a timer that isn't some sort of digital timer that makes noise is hilarious because it's saying, please look at the timer instead of the person who's
I know, and it's so hard to do that, right?
I know, it's every game.
Yeah, I know. So, okay,
Okay.
You go ahead and read out slowly the answers, and people have a chance to drop in their answers as well.
Oh, everyone's doing it really fast. Kudos. Okay. So the first one I thought, and it looked like almost everyone else, was laugh.
Yes.
Next one, again, pretty much unanimous, was dice.
Yes.
Okay. The third one.
Yes, what do people say?
A lot of people said sprinkler, and I feel embarrassed because I said barometer.
Yes.
Because originally I thought you were doing a compass.
Yeah.
And then it looked like you were trying to show that rain was building up, and I'm like, are you showing a barometer now?
I know. I tried doing those sprinklers that kind of like, you know, and then I was like, oh, okay. There are also sprinkles that go like this, and then the grass is growing.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Well done, everybody. I'm so glad some people got that. All right.
Number 4, again, pretty much unanimous, was not.
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry, I haven't been marking these in.
This one here. Oh, I'm
Please
sorry,
say someone
everybody.
else guessed barometer. I doubt it. A lot of people guessed compass.
I'm really sorry about the next one.
The next one was lighthouse.
Yes.
I got it.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And not so many people got the lighthouse one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the last one, was it mosquito?
Yes, it was mosquito.
Oh.
All
so
right.
I got 5.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like anyone else guessed barometer. So.
All right, let's do one more each, and then we can wrap things up. Maybe answer a couple more questions, and then be done. Because what time are we at now, Pep?
I don't want to tell you. It's 20 after.
Okay, so we have technically 10 more minutes.
Wow.
We'll see.
We played 2 games. We have to stretch this out further.
Okay, here we go. Everyone ready for another round? I hope you guys are enjoying this. We'll do another round right now. And Pep is all set, and go. Hold on, I have to write it down. Oh, Pep works for his craft. Okay. Oh. Oh, time's not up, but we're saying it's up. I really don't know what that is. I want to know what that is. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so the first one I said was slap.
Yeah.
Second one, so guys, feel free to
give them a second.
Start dropping the answers. We'll give you a chance to start dropping your answers here into the chat. This is good stuff here, though. I think I'm on point for most of them, except for number 3. I really don't know. Oh, number 2, I might have gotten wrong. Dan had a good one there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So number 1, I had a slap.
Slap is correct.
Number 2, I had as tie, but now someone else says scarf.
No, it was necktie.
Necktie. Okay.
So tie is good.
Tie's fine. Blind.
For number 3.
Yeah. First I thought, he took his glasses off. He's covered his eyes. He's blind. That's not how you would do blind, but I don't know what else it could be.
It was mask. I was covering my face with
mask, and people did guess mask. Oh, there's quite a few masks.
Good.
Very good.
Good work, everyone.
Yeah, well done. Someone said face hugger.
Face Technically.
The answers are one word every time, but I like your creativeness. Okay, I put confetti for
number 4 was confetti.
Well, you did a great job with that one. Good prop.
5.
Push.
Oh no, push for the hard. Those were the hard ones. You thought the hard one was push?
Sometimes the hard ones are actually kind of easy. Sometimes.
No, it was bulldozer.
Okay. No, like this to give me like the bull at least, and then the.
Well, no, then you just think it was bull.
Yeah, it's true. I'm
going to be really surprised. You seem to get number 6 right away.
Accordion.
It is an accordion.
Yeah. We're pretty good.
Is it just a Canadian thing? We know what an accordion.
Everyone knows what an accordion is. It's everyone's favorite instrument.
Well, I just mean the action, the motion.
I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points there. It looks like.
Oh, very good.
So. We'll say 10 and 10. Did anyone get all 6? Feel free to put in all caps, all 6. And then Pep will know he actually gets 12 points. All right, we'll do one more, and then we will be close to signing off. There's a timer, Pep.
We'll answer at least the rest of the questions.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Are you ready to flip it?
No, you're not going to look at the timer, but okay.
Yep.
You didn't do a 1 first.
Okay.
I don't know if this is part of it or not.
So that's it.
Yeah, the timer's up too.
Okay, good luck on number 3, and even number 6 was a little
I think
extravagant.
I got number 6.
Okay, so people can start throwing in their answers.
Yeah, everyone start throwing your answers here. I think I might have got all these.
Really? I'd be really impressed if you get number 3. I'd be really
oh yeah, never mind. I'm going to be pretty impressed if you get number 3 as well.
That number 3 was really difficult. That should have been on a red. That's what I mean. Like, when you hear number 3, I think you'll say that should have been on a red card.
Okay,
for sure.
So number 1, I thought it was spin.
Yes, spin.
Good. Number 2, I thought was dart.
Yes.
Spin and dart. Perfect.
Those were pretty easy.
Number 3, I bounced back and forth here a little bit, but I went with shot.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, it was Stingray. So I was trying to go, I got stung, and then I'm like shooting rays out of a futuristic gun. So that was
interesting.
I'm sorry. How do I act a stingray? I'm not sure. Like stingrays are kind of a weird.
Yeah, and it's weird because everything's supposed to kind of be one word, so it's weird to think it's a two-part answer.
To break it into two. So that to me feels like a red color card. But anyway.
And I assume bicycle was bicycle. You literally grabbed my bicycle.
That doesn't quite throw if it was like metal. Metal, look. All right, what about number 5?
So it looks like it's pretty split up between cowboy and rodeo. I went with cowboy.
Oh, it was rodeo.
It was rodeo.
Sorry, because I was trying to show like it's not just bull riding or bull or
One moment I decided it was cowboy when you had the guy who was cheering.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I thought he was the cowboy. Like he's like, yeah, look at what I did.
I was trying to do that in front of a stadium of people. You know what I mean? So, all right. What about the last one?
Graduation.
Graduate. So technically, graduation is wrong, but graduate is correct. Yeah, okay. You're taking it anyway. So there you go. There's speechless. So depending on the number of players you have, it plays up to I forget. Is it 6? It should show it there on the board.
It plays up to 6, I believe, or I think it plays up to 5.
Well, it's the number of lines for names, Pep, on that board in front of you. That's how many people.
Then it plays 8.
Oh, it plays 8. And so depending on the number of people you have, like with 8 players, each person would act once. If you have fewer players, everyone might act twice, or much fewer, everyone would act 3 times. So like Pep and I should technically be doing another turn, but we're not going to. We're going to end here.
I always just do 10 turns regardless.
Oh, always 10 turns.
Always, yeah.
All right, so that was speechless, everybody. Let's come back here.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can go through the chat later and find out
find the true answers.
Well, I'll find out
sure, for the half points. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. I really enjoy. Oh gosh, I'm reviewing it. I had fun playing it. All right.
This was the best charades game we have ever encountered.
One of the things that I think is different or interesting about this particular version is everyone's always participating all the time, right? Like, and it's not like, well, I think it's this, well, I think it's that, and then we're having to decide on it. Like I get to write down what I think, and if I'm wrong, I might get points because someone else might also think the same thing. That's kind of fun to see. Oh, you also thought the same thing I did? Yeah. That's kind of neat, right?
And I like the quiet aspect of it because
a lot of times charades games are pretty disruptive.
Yeah,
you could play this at a convention and it wouldn't be ruining everyone else's experience.
Yeah.
And yet it would still be something people would look and go, oh, that looks kind of fun. What's going on over there? So there's speechless.
All right, let's do some questions.
All right. There's no questions anymore. There's just answers to the speechless game. I'll go back a bit and just see.
I feel like we should almost just ask people to wait until the end to ask questions, or say, okay, we're going to answer questions, start asking them.
Well, I'm not seeing here, which is good. So if anyone has any last-minute questions they'd like to ask, go ahead, plug them in. We got 1 minute left.
And let's answer the couple that were left on here.
Marlon Cruz writes, I loved your input on the Dice Tower video at Gen Con about the do's and don'ts. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you to say, of being a content creator. Would you consider doing some more vlogging about that part from your perspective? Something like Rodney Thanks or Rodney's 3 Laws of Board Gaming or whatever. Yes, I sometimes I do get asked. Someone asked me a question today. They said, how long does it take you to create a video from scripting to the... And that's a question I've answered multiple times, but I don't have one place to direct people to and go, well, here's my process. Yeah. Or I really enjoyed that particular topic we did on the do's and don'ts. Not, again, because I think I'm the end-all, be-all on this topic, but I feel like there's things I wished I had thought about early on, or things that I figured out along the way that, boy, it would be nice to have someone say, oh, here's something you're going to encounter or something to consider, So So in that sense, I'd love to be able to share that with other people if they thought it was useful. So yeah, I consider it, again, it's a little bit of a time thing. It's like, oh, I need to do the script for Mansions of Madness, or I can do this other side thing, which I'd like to do, but it's not really the core function of the show. That's where sometimes things get tricky.
And I know I'm most curious if Rodney's rules will end up somewhere, because that got discussed during the board gaming do's and don'ts.
I do have a little 13-point kind of Rodney's rules document. It was smarter. It was smarter initially. It was shorter initially. It was about like 7 or 8 rules that I kind of wrote down when I first started the show and said, okay, here are certain things I want to try to live up to, or rules I want to help guide my decisions as I make the show. And I've never really shared that publicly. And I don't know that I would. I did have it with me at the show, and I did share a couple of things with people, but some of them are personal.
Never eat after midnight.
These are not the things I said. But anyway, so maybe at some point in time I'll find the right platform to share some of those things. Michael Vanoy wrote, when are you going to do something with guest stars? You're at a con, you can do a live Q&A with Chris Leader, for example.
Carl Lender?
Carl Lender? I don't know who Carl Lender is.
No, it's an inside joke.
No, I wish I was inside to get that joke. I think it's a fine idea. Like it's just sort of to do it at a convention. I need to bring all my equipment with me, which is something I can do. But it's to do it just for one specific thing. That's the other challenge. Is my good camera that's my workhorse. Like if something was to happen to that, now when I get home, do I have the means to shoot the videos I need to shoot? So sometimes I'm a little hesitant about bringing all my best stuff to a show like that, but.
See the one on the bottom?
Don't get Pep wet.
You were supposed to read it. It's funny.
Well, we can't just see that and then not tell people what we're reading. That's rude. Okay. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. People wrote a bunch of questions. You're not supposed to write any more questions. That's all just a lie. We have to actually end this thing. All right. We're going to run through these questions bullet point. Super fast. Okay. And we're going to say goodbye in the next 2 minutes. Okay, here we go.
Kabuki Kid asked, did you get any Target exclusive games when you were in the U.S.? No.
Question, did you get a chance to try Star Wars Destiny from FFG?
No.
Question, Andrea back from Mansions?
No.
20-sided? She's in Halifax. She's not local. So
20-sided turtle. Question, with the leftover content, will you and Jamie ever do a Secret Cabal Express about board game media?
Ooh, that's a good idea. That might be that might be a good platform to do it. I'll talk to Jamie about it. We'll see. Marcelo's why aren't you wearing shoes? Ha ha ha. Because. Okay.
I don't wear shoes.
He doesn't wear shoes in here. I actually wear like shoe slippers. Like I'll buy sneakers specifically for in home. I like wearing shoes around the house sometimes. In the summer, I don't do it as much.
You see those wraps? It's like a more hard sock kind of idea, and it wraps around your foot to form a shoe. So instead of wearing socks or shoes, you wear this.
You wrap it.
It's interesting. Yeah, look it up.
Okay. Look it up. All right.
Pete Spooner asks, will you continue to do the live Q&A in the newly funded season? Yes.
I would. Okay. Okay, I guess we're doing it. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do a little feedback thing to see what people think.
You know what I'd really like to know?
Yes.
I would like to know if people would like us to do the gaming and the Q&A together, or if they'd actually like them split. Because we end up doing a lot of gaming in these. I'm wondering if people would actually like a full episode
or even
of us
the order.
Playing like Speechless,
Would
for
you
example.
prefer the games earlier or after? That's something.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
And how we managed all the questions. I'm sure that's probably frustrating for people, but hopefully we do an okay job at that. I think it's good to get some feedback on. Okay. Stephen Chapman asks, where to get your shirt? I got this from the gentleman at Analog Gamer, Brandon. He does amazingly good quality gamer shirts, board gamer tabletop shirts. Check out his website, Google it, you'll find it. We're going to have some Watch It Play shirts coming from there as well. It took me a long time to decide on shirts because a lot of places the shirts are these paper thin, wafery material that just fall apart, and these are actually really good shirts with good print. So the Watch Play shirts won't be coming until much later in the year, if this year at all. So
maybe for next year's fundraiser.
Maybe not during a fundraiser. There's all kinds of reasons not to do it during a fundraiser.
That's fair. Mine just came from a mall. I wish I'd remember where.
Right. Good. Did One Deck Dungeon seem to get a lot of buzz at Gen Con? This is from Dan.
I didn't see a lot of buzz.
No,
I didn't see the game either, unfortunately.
No. What's the thing here? Okay. Brad Skaggs writes, what game was the most difficult to write the script for? Probably Stronghold 2nd Edition.
Seafall must have been close.
Seafall was its own kind of difficulty. In Stronghold 2nd Edition, there was a lot of questions in the rulebook that had to be resolved because the rulebook wasn't great. That's what made that particularly difficult. Seafall was difficult because the information was in a totally different order than how I would want to present it, so I had to reorganize all of that. But the information was there. Okay. Yeah. Kabuki Kid. Is there a must-use promo for any games that should always be incorporated? Is there such a thing? No.
I don't think so.
There's no must-use, I don't think.
No, except the golden axe in Talk Woodman. If you have that golden axe, you have to use it.
There you go. There's an answer for you. Morose Monkey Wrench. If we're not catching up. Any Watch It Play merchandise down the road, I'd probably wear your shirt cap. This is not
dripping.
This is not. I'm sweating all over it. No, this is not an official merchandise you can buy. Dice trays. Hopefully in the future we'll be offering T-shirts as well. Other things, maybe we'll see. I'd love to hear what people would like. One of the rules: don't chew gum on camera. Huh?
Nope.
Right. And I just broke the don't get Pep wet rule as well. Apparently.
Oh, I want to know this next one.
Xantos Bokova asks, will Pep get a Dead of Winter character? What's his profession in the game? Don't have plans to yet, but that is somebody we haven't explored yet. Who knows?
You haven't explored me yet?
I haven't explored you yet. Kabuki Kid, when is the fastest time you ever had making a video? Which video was the easiest, shortest to make?
Onitama for me.
Onitama was definitely the super
like
fast.
3 minutes.
I'm trying to think. Kerflip was one of the faster ones I did. But I don't know.
Roll for it?
Roll for it. Roll for it. Probably one of the easiest ones. Thank you. Shortest ones to do. Joshua Molina asks, going to prison soon. What would be some good games to sneak into the prison to play with other inmates? I was thinking about this the other day. I honestly was thinking, well, I don't know why. I was thinking if I was in prison, I would, like, how would I survive? I would have to be the guy who, like, entertains people with board games and things, right? Like, coming up with games we could play with the materials we have. But then, like, I'm thinking, you don't want things to be too competitive because you don't want someone, like, losing it and then, like, wanting their vengeance later because they lost a game of diplomacy. So you don't play diplomacy ever. You have to play, like, fully cooperative games all the time, I think.
I think you're thinking of this the whole wrong way.
Oh,
what you want is you want to have a game that has pencils and you also want to have
sharp
a game
objects.
Sharp object. But you also want to have a game that has paper money because then you can use it to play poker.
Okay.
Because people in prison will most likely want to play something like poker. It'd be a lot easier.
I don't want, like, suddenly someone owing money to someone and then getting bent out of shape over
paper
it.
money.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to go to prison. Okay, I hope you don't go to prison either. Hopefully you get acquitted soon.
And not Lords of Waterdeep because that box lid, I couldn't handle that in prison.
This is it. The questions are not stopping. You guys are not cooperating in this cooperative game of ending the show. We'll do one more question. Okay. Will you say good night to Bethany? She fell asleep. This is sorry, Bethany. I apologize.
Good night, Bethany.
It was so long that you fell asleep. I don't blame you. Good night, Bethany. And good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another live show. I hope this was fun and enjoyable.
This one means a lot.
One more question.
Palooka Jim wants to know, are you proud of your profession?
Oh, Palooka Jim, don't hit me in the feels right there. We got to go. Yes, I'm very pleased to be able to do Watch It Played. Yes, this is the most satisfying thing I've ever done. Probably with my life. I know you're supposed to say, oh, your kids, your wife. Those things are separate. I know you're supposed to say those things, but I won't. No, I'm saying those things are not like the professions you do with your life. Those are there's a different thing.
If you think of marriage as a profession, you might have approached marriage the wrong way.
Work and children is work, but it's a different kind of thing. Yeah. This is definitely the most satisfying thing I've ever done with my life. And certainly I feel that way because not only do I love the hobby and I love sharing games and I love teaching games and I get to do that every day, but people do seem to enjoy and get something out of it, and that certainly makes it very rewarding. So that's a nice question to close on, and thank you. But that's it. You're done. Everyone's cut off.
Yeah, and even in my limited time, I really feel the same. I'm enjoying what we're doing more than anything else I've ever done.
Oh, that's really great to hear. I've never really asked you that, so I'm glad to hear that.
And yes, Ryan, it will be.
Son of you snuck in another answer. We got to end this thing. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's always a blast, and I'm actually sweating profusely now. I don't know if
it's that light.
The light. so we're going to go before we melt. Until the next episode, everyone, thanks for watching. And until we figure out how to shut this down.
Because now we get to
do the boop boop.
I'll help with the
boop 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 boop. How do I stop this? I don't know how to stop this. Here we go. Stop this.